Hey everybody, it's Saturday around, let's see, what time is it? Like almost 12 o'clock in the afternoon. If you haven't already watched part 1 of my reading vlog, I will leave it down below. You're going to want to check that out first. Otherwise, I'm just going to take you along for my day today and my day tomorrow. I'm just waiting for Aaron to get back. He dropped off some clothes to be tailored. And then I think we're going to go home and eat some lunch, and I'm really hoping that it snows today. I don't think it's gonna stick on the ground, but this is what happens when you live in North Carolina. Any hint of snow is so exciting, and then it just never comes. I feel like it just never comes.
I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Chestnuts roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Chestnut roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase.
This is about all we get for snow. I don't even know if you can see it. It looks like it's mostly rain. Hey everybody, so I have not vlogged to update you guys about my day yesterday or my day today. It's Sunday at like 1:15, so it's been a hot minute. But I wanted to just share with you because I feel like I've had a really good weekend. I've had a pretty good reading weekend as well. Just to recap, I've read like maybe like 50 pages of Crazy Rich Asians. And I've listened to the audiobook Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. I've listened to about an hour of that. I have maybe 3 hours left to go. And then I started and finished Snow and Rose, and I'm forgetting the author's name right now because I don't have that book with me. So yesterday after we ran our errands, we spent a good part of the day reading and just relaxing and eating chicken pot pie. We made some adult hot chocolates, and it was just a really good time. It started snowing. Also, I'm waiting in the car right now while Aaron goes and picks up coffee, and there are people walking by watching me vlogging, and it's a little unnerving. But anyway, so yeah, we just kind of hung out yesterday, did some reading. I read about half of Snow and Rose, and was really loving it. I feel like I'm missing something. But anyway, then we went to church for our lessons and carols. We just kind of sang Christmas hymns together. Consolation over all the earth thou art, dear desire of every nation, joy of every longing heart. Such a sweet time. It's an annual thing that our church does, and it really kind of marks the Christmas season for me. I feel like it just puts me in the Christmas spirit. And then afterwards we went out to dinner with some friends, which I'm really sad I didn't get any clips of that, but we had a good time, had some pizza and salad, and then we came home and just kind of chilled. And then this morning we woke up and had some coffee, and I finished Snow and Rose. So I read for a few hours, maybe like 2 hours tops, but it was just such a sweet book, you guys. I'm obsessed with it. I mean, it's a middle grade novel, so it's very simple in a lot of ways and very sweet and innocent. There's parts of it that are kind of creepy in the best way possible, the kind of creepy vibes that I like in my books. But yeah, it just has that fairy tale vibe, and it's just so good. It's so good and whimsical and lovely, and I'll probably have more thoughts on it later. But the illustrations were amazing. Oh, also I forgot to mention that somebody on my Instagram sent me a message that the author of Snow and Rose actually has an Etsy shop with illustrations that she sells. So I'm really excited to go check that out because the illustrations were incredible. So anyway, we went to church, and then we went grocery shopping, picked up some good coffee, and now we're headed home. So yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna pick up next. As I mentioned, I'm still reading Crazy Rich Asians, and I still have a Scrappy Little Nobody on the audio book. But I'm kind of loving the idea of picking up another, oh my gosh, it's so sunny right now, picking up another short book. So I actually got from the library, I think it's The Grown Up, which is, it's like a 60-page book by Gillian Flynn. Did you know that, Aaron?
No.
Remember the author of,
Yeah.
what's it called? Why can't I
Gone
remember
Girl.
it? Gone Girl. Yeah, so it's like 60 pages or something like that. So I should be able to fly through it and have that count toward my December goal.
Yourself a merry little Christmas night, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Up, 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 up. We go, we go, we go, we go, we. Up, 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 up. We go, we go, we go, we go, we go, we go, we. It's a place of love. Hey, 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 it's a place of love.
So if you hear me sniffle, it's because I've been outside. We just walked Zoe, and it's freezing out there, so I'm very cold. My ears are freezing right now. But Aaron and I are just kind of picking up around the house, and one of the things I'm working on right now is this giant tub of children's books that my mom gave me the last time I saw her, and I'm trying to figure out where to put them, but they're all like my beloved children's books that I used to read as a kid. And I'm just like, I'm having the most nostalgic time reading through these. I'm so nostalgic reading through these. This one was especially a favorite of mine, The Silly Sisters. It's like, it's just so strange how you can read a cover of a book that you used to read over and over again, and just immediately be transported into that world. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because I've always said that I wasn't really a reader growing up. But I don't know, after looking at all of these children's books, and most of them, I mean, they're all picture books or board books. Some of them are really, really old. But I'm just realizing how familiar they are to me, and I think that there was a point when I was really young when I would love to read books. I think it was more the middle grade chapter books and then the young adult books that I never really got into until later in life. So it's interesting thinking about the identity of reader and how that identity changes over the years. In my mind, I didn't have a lot of early experiences that I could recall sitting and reading all the time, but my mom always tells me differently. She always says, you were always reading, you always loved books. So I don't know, maybe I can't really trust my memories. Maybe I was always a reader. But some of these books are just, they're killing me. And I'm trying to go through them and figure out which ones I want to put in the attic and which ones I want to put on my shelf. Look at this book. It's so old and it's kind of creepy, but in like the best way. And I remember being totally enamored with this book because it had all of these fancy little like pop-up features. Check this out. Whoa, it's so trippy. I don't know how I didn't break this as a kid. Actually, some of them, like this one doesn't have a tab because I probably did it too many times. Since it's the cat one, I was probably obsessed with it. Just so magical as a little kid. So magical, so magical. So it's about 5:10 on Sunday and I just finished The Little Prince and I love this book so much. It's so weird. I think every time I visit it, which isn't often, I can't remember the last time I read this, but when I do visit it, I am reminded by just how strange it is, but in the best way. It's just this picture of creativity and imagination and how for children there's so much about adulthood that seems so absurd or silly. And I just love how this book kind of flips that on its head, the whole idea of growing up and becoming an adult and losing imagination and passion and drive and having careers that are just so serious but actually really silly. It's this idea of how adults take themselves too seriously, and in doing so they lose what's dear to them, or they lose a part of themselves that is just really, it's sad to think about. And I just, yeah, it's such a strange book, and I'd love to read up on the author, because I know he has a really interesting story, but I don't know a whole lot about him. But I just feel like this is the perfect time to read this book at Christmas time. It's just so sweet and whimsical, also like Snow and Rose. I feel like these two books kind of go well together in a weird way. But I realized that I didn't really talk a lot about Snow and Rose, and I don't really want to talk about the plot because it's so simple and straightforward that I don't know, I don't want to give anything away. But I will say that it's about these two girls who grow up having everything. They live in sort of a castle in a wealthy home, and they have servants and cooks, and their parents are really wealthy. And then one day their father goes into the woods and he never comes back. And so it's a book about grief, and it's a book about family. We see their mother kind of retreat into sadness and loneliness, and they end up having to, this isn't a spoiler or anything, it happens quite early on, but they end up moving, and kind of just their old life is completely wiped out. And so in a way, it's a really morbid premise for a middle grade book. It's very sad, and it deals with really heavy topics of grief and loss and anger, and what anger looks like in this kind of family situation. But it's also the story is so good. It's a fairy tale story that has to do with enchanted forests and creatures, and just like lovely, beautiful, unique ideas. There's a library that they find, and it's not just a library of books, it's a library of objects like feathers and bones and locks and scissors and just weird things that the librarian has accumulated over the years. And it's all very mysterious and strange, but so weirdly lovely. I don't know, I'm probably not making a whole lot of sense about why I loved this book, but I don't know, I just loved it. And the illustrations made it so much better. Like, I would read this just because it has the most lovely cover and the most lovely illustrations. I really like that she includes in the back of the book her sketchbook. So it's just, random sketches. And it almost looks like she wrote on there with pencil. Sorry, the lighting is not great, not ideal for this, but I just really, really enjoyed that a lot. So I'm kind of fading fast. I'm hungry, I'm sleepy. I know it's only like 5 o'clock. I have more work to do around the house. So I think I'm gonna end this vlog here, but thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around, I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Finally doing reading vlogs again. It feels nice. I hope your end of the year reading is going well. Let me know in a comment down below what you plan to read this month, and I will talk to you later. Bye!